Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Mr. Magazine, I'm going to read you something that I read in The Economist magazine. I don't know if you're familiar with that magazine
I
or
get
not.
a lot of free ones, and we sell them all the time.
I don't know if you're familiar with that magazine or not, but here I am name dropping.
They're hiding all over my shop, randomly hiding everywhere.
So there is a venture capitalist, a boss of a venture capitalist company called Roloff Botha. Exactly. And I'm going to read you his quote, and I want you to discuss this as it goes into reselling. Are you ready?
I'll try my best.
It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most responsive to change.
So I'm going to put this in perspective with me, where 10 years ago, I probably wasn't much of a survivor because I didn't want to do change. I was scared of change, didn't know if I'd be successful. I'm going to keep going back to this company that jumped ship on eBay. What were they? The poster company. There was a supply company, and I'm feared like, I hope I never get kicked off. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'll be dead in the water. And then we turned into Amazon. We turned into got a website. Now we're doing DVD sites. We're doing whatnot. So you have to be open to this change. One, if you want to grow your company, but two, get more income sources. If that's what you're looking for, that's my answer.
I just want you to discuss it.
And it'll help you survive, be more confident where, hey, if I do get kicked off eBay, if I do kicked off, you have 4 other options where you're making money from. So always be open-minded to say, hey, and I was not open-minded with whatnot. It took me 2-3 years, and I regret that. I wish I started it years ago. But never too late to start. And we're doing great with that, selling every day of the week now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, comics Monday through Friday, and then weekend records. So, yeah.
Wow.
Great.
Yep. And I looked at it, and I've actually got a postcard I have downstairs that says, if you're so smart, why aren't you rich? And I think that absolutely comes into it as well. I have met some absolutely brilliant people throughout my life, but they can't put that brilliance into practice. Mm-hmm. They're very, very smart, but to what end? It doesn't do them any good as far as making a living. I mean, it's great they're smart. It's great on that. And I would argue, well, let me ask you what you would think the strongest would be as far as reselling goes, because obviously out in nature the strongest, you know what that means. But what do you think it would mean as far as reselling goes?
Someone that can outlast other competitors and take risks, I would say.
No. They're saying just the strongest. I would say that the strongest would be, because remember, the strongest may not survive.
True.
So I'm thinking the strongest is, you come into reselling and you got $1 million and you got a big warehouse, or you've got this or you've got that. You come in very, very strong, but you may not survive because you go and you buy, $500,000 in fidget spinners just as that crashes.
Well, it's funny, and I'll put my laundromat up for example here. We had a couple of years ago, I think, a new store opened up. Not, probably 10-minute drive, so I'm probably not losing much business to it, but it's on a main road. So rent has to be killer. It costs $1 million to open. Prices are expensive because they bought everything new. So that's strong, but he's probably not going to make money for 5-10 years maybe. Let's say you're grossing $100,000-$200,000 after expenses. You're making $100,000. You still got 10 years of your life is going to break even. But like you said, he's coming out strong, a lot of money, taking chances, big operation, and we've been there 50 years, and we have no $1 million invested into it. Maybe over time, buying new machines and so forth over 30, 40, 50 years, but. Yeah, he came in very strong, and we'll see what happens in a few years.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's what it all comes down to for all of us and anybody out there watching as well is be able to change, see the writing on the wall, and that's one of the things we talk about a lot in our videos, live videos and other videos as well.
Sure.
Is watch the trends, and I'm not saying necessarily, oh my gosh, Taylor Swift is going on another tour. That's great.
Yeah.
But with the secondhand things we deal in, it doesn't really make a big difference. Okay, I'm going to buy 2 Taylor Swift programs when I see them out there, whereas before I would have passed on them.
Right.
I make $200, big deal.
Yeah.
Now, there are people out there that do things with event tickets, things like that. Mm-hmm. they definitely got to watch the trends.
Yeah.
You know, because hey, I'm going to buy the tickets and the parking for the Taylor Swift tour that's just coming out, and I'm not going to buy it for this other tour because I don't think that's going to be a good tour.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole different world.
Yeah.
But even right there, they're adapting to change.
Sure.
For whatever reason. Let's just say Taylor Swift does another tour in a couple of years and it starts getting really bad reviews. Dump those tickets, change. And the person that hangs on to them and says, nope, I paid $400 per ticket, and that's what I need to get out of them.
Yeah.
And you had a situation with tickets, as I recall, that you could tell us what changes with the...
We couldn't go to an event, and then we tried selling the tickets, and by the time we paid $100 a ticket, 2 weeks later we found out we have a prior commitment. My son was in the football playoffs, so obviously we're going to take that over going to a college game. But anyways, we went to sell them, and the tickets went from 100 down to 60 to 50 to 40, and then I could have sold them for $10. I go, what am I going to do with $10? So we end up just eating it. But and that happened again with the Michael Jackson tickets too. We can give that, at least that's local. We can give them away to friends or something.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
But even with people that buy stocks, like day traders or something, I mean, they could come on strong and say, hey, I got $1 million to invest today, and they can lose it in one day,
Right, yep. Yep, absolutely. So always, be watching the trends. And again, in the things that we deal in, especially me, a little less so for Mr. Magazine because he does have some sports cards and things like that you do have to monitor a little closer on the newer players. But if I've got a stock certificate from 1911, it's a stock certificate from 1911. I don't really have to watch the trends for what I'm buying and selling,
right.
But I have to watch the trends and have to watch things as far as the venues go. And if all of a sudden you start seeing, wait, eBay is getting less and less traffic. I mean, I do know a couple of people who basically sell only on eBay. And I have tried to warn them throughout the years, start checking other locations out, start checking other venues out.
Yeah, you're definitely leaving money on the table, definitely.
Well, not even that. You're also not hedging your bets.
Yeah.
Because what happens if eBay kicks you off?
Yeah.
Suspends you for 30 days for something that you have no idea.
What if they just fold? I mean, not fold, but like really go downhill. We think it's bad now. Maybe it's going to get worse and worse over the next couple of years, and they keep going downhill, losing more customers to other, Amazon, whatnot, so.
Right, yep.
You never know.
Or some other site comes along like a whatnot. Some other site does come along. If you can get into it early and the site ends up taking off, then all of a sudden, when people start going onto the site, the site starts tomorrow and it starts doing okay, and then in 5 years, everybody is going onto it.
Yeah.
And you've got thousands of positives on that site. You're way ahead of everybody else because you were on it, at the ground floor as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's absolutely true. I think you absolutely do need to be always evolving, always watching a change around you, whatever it is. And part of that too is, and this is kind of interesting, I was reading, I picked up a price guide for stamps, the Scots for stamps. Now, it's 2007, but I bought it because I said, I don't care about the prices. I'm trying to learn a little bit about stamps, so when I'm listing first day covers and that kind of thing, I at least have an idea what the heck I'm talking about.
Sure.
And did you know until the mid 70s whether I don't know if you know what a hinging is on a stamp or not, but that's when they take it and they would affix something to the back of it so they could put it into a stamp album.
Okay.
Until the 70s, there was really no difference in value between a hinged and an unhinged stamp. So if we were stamp collecting in 1955, wouldn't make any difference.
Who cares? Yeah. But
now it's a huge difference,
Wow.
and you want unhinged is what you want. And that would be one thing where if you are in it for the money as a dealer, now if you're a collector, it doesn't matter, you're just collecting because you want it. But if you're in it as a dealer that you want to be making money, you better know that.
Yeah.
And you better pay accordingly, because if the entire market, and I can give another quick example as well, who wants Beckett graded cards right now? Very few people.
No, only if they're like 9.5s or 10s or pristine or the gold label, that type of stuff. They got to be high end. Up to a 9, I think people prefer the PSAs.
Right. I mean, Beckett's also having some financial difficulties at this moment.
But
probably won't be around anymore.
But their gold labels and their pristines definitely go for more than a PSA 10.
Yeah. So again, that's one of those things too where you have to know that with the market, but you also have to look and say, geez, Beckett doesn't look like it's going to be making a comeback anytime soon.
Yeah.
PSA might be what I want to invest in, or I pay less for, or PGX on the comics,
yeah.
whatever it is. So you do have to follow the trends as well as far as that goes and change. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. If you could hit the like button, we'd definitely appreciate it. And we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.